everyone, welcome back. I'm Jorja from Jorja's Shenanigans. Today I'm going to show you some more zipper pulls. We did a video not so long ago with zipper pulls, but these ones are slightly different to the ones in the previous video, and these ones you can also use for phone charms. Now I've actually taken the case off my phone so I can show you. I've got some of these little, I don't even know what you call them, little gadgets. They sit in the back of your phone case and you can hook your charm onto that. Now, for me, it does get in the way a little bit of the charger, so I have to kind of finagle the charger to get it in the hole. But, you know, it's a small price to pay to have a cute little charm on your phone. So I will have a select few charms that will come with this little gadget. However, you can buy these gadgets online like eBay and AliExpress and Temu and, you know, wherever else. And you can get them with two loops as well. But I've chosen one. So some of mine will come with this gadget and some won't. But anywho, let's get on with it. So you'll need some wire. I've just cut some random pieces of wire. You'll need some beads, crimps, clasps, all your usual stuff that you need. So we'll start off, we'll feed a crimp on. If I can get it, there we go. And a wire guardian. So I'm going to do one of these silver ones first. Now the only thing I'm worried about is will this wire, because this is thicker wire, this is 0.45 millimeter wire. These crimps tend to be quite small. But yeah, it's going to go, so that's okay. So you've got your wire guardian on your wire, pop your clasp on like that, slide your crimp back up. Can be a little bit fiddly. I'm still using these little locking crimps. They're just a lot easier than the other ones, and you don't have to use crimp covers and mess around trying to get them round and all the rest of it. So you just pop that on there, grab your pliers. Now you can see there's a little lever on the side of it, so you just need to push that little lever in. Give it a good hard squeeze. Sometimes they kind of pop and other times they're quiet. It's kind of satisfying when they pop, but anyway, never mind. Okay, so that's all nice and secure. That's not going anywhere. So for the beads, I've got a bit of a variety. This is a good kind of thing to make to use up the last of your beads if you've got, you know, a few beads left and you want to use them up. In this case, I've just chosen some beads. So these amethyst ones and these onyx ones, I'm going to use the ancient bronze for those. So these ones, and these ones will all be with silver. So anyway, I will start with, I'm going to start with these champagne-y kind of coloured ones. So up near your clasp, you want to have smaller beads because you've got two strings going up to your clasp, and if you've got big beads then they're going to be competing too much. So I always put smaller beads up at the end like that, because your other ones are going to sit next to them when you finish it. So I might pop one of these balls on. I've actually got 3 different sizes in these. I think those little ones are 4 millimeter. These are 6. and the bigger ones are 8. Now, as far as how many beads you need, depends on how big you want your charm to be. So it's entirely up to you. You can use whatever beads you want to use, in whatever configuration you want to use, and make it as long or as short as you like. So now we're working basically back up the other side. So I don't think I'm going to use all of these big ones. They're quite pretty, these beads. I made a few necklaces and things out of them. Oops, I forgot to put a ball on. Yeah, I've used them on a few necklaces, and they're quite nice. I wasn't really all that sure about the colour because they're not really pink. They're more of a champagne kind of colour, but they're actually quite pretty. You don't have to use the metal spaces if you don't want to. I'm just using little stainless steel balls. Okay, so that's what we've got. So now this is going to loop around and be a little loop. Looking back on it, I probably could have made it a little bit bigger. I think I will. So I'm just going to bore you for a minute. Just feed another 3 of those beads on, the bigger ones. Oops. Okay. So it's going to look like that. So now we want to pop another crimp on the other side. A wire guardian first. It's also a good project for using up your scrap pieces of wire too, especially if you're just making little ones, because we've all got scrap pieces of wire. Feed it back through a few of your beads, 3 or 4 or 2 or whatever you want to do. Always feed back through a little bit, squeeze that guardian in, pull it up pretty close, grab your trusty crimping pliers, which are good for everything, squash that crimp in. Grab a pair of cutters, cut off that tail, try and get nice and close to the bead. And that's that one done. So there's one. So I'll show you, whoops, I'll show you how I do the antique bronze ones. So same thing, put a crimp on and a wire guardian, but obviously I don't have any of those locking crimps in the bronze colour, so I'm just going to use regular silver crimp tubes and the dreaded crimp cover. Everybody who watches my channel knows how I feel about crimp covers. They are the worst thing ever. They give me nightmares sometimes. Not really. I just don't like them. Okay, so we crimp that off. All very nicely. Grab ourselves a crimp cover. Now I'm doing the cover now rather than at the end because you don't kind of realise that these take up room. And if you've crimped your piece off and, you know, pulled it all up to as tight as you want it and all that, crimped it off, and then you go to put the crimp cover on and suddenly you find that your piece is much tighter than you wanted it to be. So there we've got that. So we might we'll do these amethyst ones. So I've got 3 sizes in the amethyst as well. I've got these little 6mm. So we're going to put 3 of them on. And then I've got these little stainless steel spacers, which they're just plain. Oops. Nothing fancy about them, but they just provide a little relief, I guess, to your pattern. So we've got 3 6mm, 3 8mm, another spacer, and these are 10mm. You know, I'm just doing a pattern of 3. You can do whatever you want. Just being conscious of it not being too long. What I usually do with these is I do sell them, but I also give them away. If somebody purchases something, often I'll just give them one of these as a little thank you gift. I think this one's going to be a little bit too long actually. Oh, it's not too bad. No, it's okay. So before I go any further, I'm just going to tuck that tail in. Oh, darn it. Be right back. Okay, disaster averted. Happens to me all the time. I do that so often. You think I'd learn, but of course I don't. So now we're going to pop a crimp on, another wire guardian. I'm way off to the side there. Haven't actually given myself a whole lot of wire to work with. Probably should have chosen a longer piece, but we'll cope. Pop our clasp on, squeeze that in. Probably only going to get that through one bead. since I made it so short. Got to allow room for the crimp cover. Try not to squash the ends of the Guardian. Give that a good squeeze. I can cut this tail off. And grab another crimp cover. It's a bit of a mixed metal one, this one, because it's bronze and stainless steel, but that's okay. Mixed metal is fine. Okay, so there is our second one. It's a little bit bigger than the first one, but that's fine. So I'm going to whiz through these next two, and then I'll come back and I'll do this little heart one with you. So I will be right back. Okay, so that's those ones done. So for this last one, I'm not going to use wire guardians. Now the reason is because two guardians won't go through the little hole in the clasp. So, you know, I could attach them by jump rings, but given that this is a zipper pull, or, you know, something that's going to be pulled on and under some duress at some stages of its life, I don't want to use jump rings. So I'm just going to put the wire straight on to the clasp. Now, when you crimp it, you don't want to crimp it off right at the clasp. You want to give it a little bit of room to move. So it's still got room where it can move around. Now for this little one, oh, that's a crimp, it's not a ball. I'm just going to do some stainless steel balls. I think we'll do 3. And then these little hematite hearts that are absolutely really, really cute. I can get one and show you. They're only tiny, but they're really cute, I think, anyway. So they'll make a nice little charm. And I'm just using stainless steel balls as well. So the thing to remember with this one is that it's going to be magnetic because of the hematite. But, you know, it's a charm. I don't think it's going to be a problem. Okay, so make sure your tail on the other end is in. So we just want to feed that tail through a couple of beads. So I've just gone through the 3 at the end. Now sometimes if you're not using a guardian, it can be a little bit tricky to tighten up your wire. Okay, that's pretty close to where we want it. It's only going to be little, this charm. So, you know, I don't know that you really need wire guardians with these. But, you know, it's whatever, you know, whatever you feel like doing. So that is that one made. So these little charms will actually, little hearts, will actually turn around. Don't know that they particularly want to. That's okay. We'll leave them like that. So there we are. There's another way of doing your charms. So thanks very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Thanks.